Good morning, everyone. Teng Boo from Capital Dynamics again. Good to see you all. As you noticed, we have listened to your comments, to your feedback. We have bought a new microphone. Hopefully, uh, everybody can hear me clearly. In the past, maybe out of 100 people, maybe 2 people can't hear me clearly. 98% can hear me. But let's make it 100%. So if this still doesn't work, let us know and see what else we can do and make it better for you. So the topic this week, it's, well, nothing political, nothing is a bit more leisurely, right? It's called, is it time to visit or revisit Beijing, the Great Wall and beyond? Because for those of you who have never been to Beijing, it could be just about the Great Wall and so on and so forth. And for those of you who have been to Beijing many times, it could be just about the Great Wall and so on and so forth. So I would like to share with you, right? Because Beijing is a city that's changing faster than any guidebook can capture. So I would like to share with you some of the unknown parts, unknown destinations of Beijing that I think most people would have overlooked or didn't even know that they existed. I just came back. I was there a week ago, and I was there for, I think, about 7-8 days. So whatever I'm sharing with you is fresh. So this is a guide for people who have never been to Beijing, or for those of you who have gone many times and think that you have seen it all. So there'll be some parts. The first part will be maybe for those of you who have been to the Great Wall and so on and so forth, it may be a bit boring or routine, but be patient. I'll take you through and see whether you agree with me that Beijing is a must. Whether it's your first time, whether it's your 50th time, it is a city that you must visit. This is the must-see classics, right? The Great Wall, which goes back, started 7th century BC, which is about almost 3,000 years ago. It stretches over 22,000 kilometers. I have a friend, a schoolmate of mine, who retired many years ago and does nothing. He's a Malaysian, he spent his entire retirement trying to complete the 22,000 kilometers of the Great Wall. He's been to many parts that most of us have not heard of, and he still says that he's still discovering things that he never knew. And he's still continuing with his journey of walking or discovering the entire Great Wall. So that's, when I saw it the first time, it was emotional, because you can't imagine how I walked, I think about maybe a quarter of a kilometer up the Great Wall and down the Great Wall, and my knees, my legs were shaking. So can you imagine when you look at this Great Wall, it stretches as far as your eyes can see, up, down the mountains. So you just imagine the people who built this, the soldiers who stood guard. It was really an emotional experience the first time. I've been to the Great Wall many times. The last time, it was still an emotional experience. So please, those of you who haven't been, it is a must. Those of you who have been, there's so many other areas. One suggested, recommended place is to go to the water tower of Kubei, where you can go to 2 different segments of the Great Wall. That water tower, it's a fascinating place by itself. Another must-see classic is, of course, Tiantan, the Temple of Heaven, and built about 600 over years ago. The architecture is beautiful. The park is pretty big. It was called actually originally the Temple of Heaven and Earth. Then a few decades later, the functions were separated and it was renamed the Temple of Heaven. Of course, then you have the Forbidden City. It's huge. The Forbidden City is really huge. It will take you, just if you're really interested, just this classic alone will take you days to complete it. But never mind, let's move on. Another classic is the tombs of the Ming Dynasty. I mean, you say, why would, for those of you who are a first-time visitor, why would I want to go and see cemetery of people, But this is not, this is, as you can see from the photo, it's almost like a palace for the deceased. And there's a lot of history tied with it. Then there's the National Museum of China. It is big. It is well curated. It's near the Tiananmen Square. It's got so many items. Just the National Museum alone, if you are really patient and interested, maybe allocate one day. Another classic is the Drum Tower or the Kulo. Well, the Drum Tower itself, as you can see from the photo, is not majestic. It's historical. It's built a long time ago. And what is more interesting, if you are the younger type, you are the more looking for cafes and shopping, it is the surrounding area, the streets surrounding the Kulo. There are so many cafes, so many eateries, so many little shops, little cute shops, and courtyard homes surrounding the entire Drum Tower. And if you go at night, like I was there last week, well, the atmosphere was electric, exciting. I mean, if people tell you that China's economy is in a recession, oh my God, no! It was so lively. I can't imagine that the country is in a recession. So please, and the shops there, I'm not a shopper, but there were so many items that were so fascinating that we bought actually quite a lot of things. This is not a classic like your Forbidden City and Great Wall, but it is also a historical place where you can walk around and capture all the atmosphere. There's a wonderful long lake there, and it has been used during the last 3 dynasties of China, which means that it's been used for about 800-900 years. It's a favorite place for locals and tourists. It can be pretty crowded. And at the time when we were there, the locals were actually swimming in the lake, right? That's how clean it is. And during winter, the lakes will be frozen, and this Shichahai will become an ice skating rink. I can imagine how beautiful that would be. The art district, the 798 art district, for those of you who may think, well, why would I want to go to the art district? If you haven't been there, spend at least maybe half a day, because it's big. This area is big. It's actually a former military electronics factory complex built about 70 years ago. And then the Chinese government has decided to make it into an artsy, modern, vibrant district. It's actually where you can see all kinds of contemporary Chinese art, basically contemporary Chinese art, photography, and all kinds. And I had my lunch there. It was a wonderful, I think it was a Mexican eatery. The architecture inside was beautiful. So this 798 district is considered the birthplace of China's contemporary art movement. It's not just one tiny building. It's an entire district. And there are a lot of galleries, a lot of interesting craft shop. This is one I would strongly recommend Please bear in mind, I don't receive a cent of commission. I'm not sponsored by them. Like I said, I'm not a shopper. The shop that I went to, the tiny shop I went to in the Kulo was fascinating. This is called the 56 Flowers Art Space. Again, fascinating items, very creative. All kinds of items that were so fascinating. If you like this kind of items, which is not your typical H&M, Uniqlo and all that, spend about maybe an hour or two because they have really a lot of items. I think I bought a lamp, a very old-fashioned type of lamp. And I think I bought quite a number of items there. Remember, I'm not a shopper, but I was so captivated by it. These are some of the items. Now, Beijing has many more must-see classics, right? But what if you have overlooked a city that is super rich in culture, history, and yet is able to reinvent itself again and again? But what if there's more than just these must-see classics? So let's take a look. Now, let's not just look at the Forbidden City, the Temple Heaven. Let's revisit these places with a different understanding. First thing is when you land at Beijing, there are two airports. There's the capital airport and there's the new Daxing Airport. This is completed in 2019. The airport is massive. The main terminal is about 700,000 square meters compared with KLIA Terminal 1 is about 480,000 square meters. And Heathrow's largest terminal is 353,000 square meters. So this is a huge terminal, right? In fact, in terms of a single building, it is the second largest in the world. But more importantly, it's not the size. More importantly is the design, the architecture. This massive airport was designed by a very famous world architect and is considered a work of art. When you land or when you depart from this city, do make sure that you don't rush. Spend a bit of time exploring the architecture and appreciating the beauty in this building. These are some of the photos. The camera that I have doesn't do justice to the beauty of the place. But I hope you can see from the photos how beautiful, how majestic the airport, the design of the airport is. And then it is solar powered. So there's a lot of energy friendly type of facilities inside this very beautiful airport. Try not to go to the capital airport. That's the first international airport. Try to land and depart from here. It's further than the first international airport. This one you have to allocate, depending on the time of the day, maybe 60 to 90 minutes, 1 hour to an hour and a half. You can take the subway if you want, or you can take a taxi. But please try to enter and depart Beijing from this beautiful airport. Okay, I was telling you about the Forbidden City, the Temple Heaven, and so on and so forth. You can see them on their own. But what many people don't realize is all these buildings are interconnected. It is known as the central axis. The central axis is recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, and it's unusual because this central axis is at the core, it's at the center of the ancient city of Beijing. Right? It's about 7.8 kilometers from the Drum Tower in the north to the Yongtingmen Gate in the south, which were built in the 13th century. And of course, after that, they've been built, added, and so on and so forth over the next 7 to 8 centuries. So this is a very simple map of this central axis. Now, what is important is not the individual building or infrastructure on its own. What is interesting is the totality of it, which is known as the central axis. Now, why UNESCO gave it a heritage status, World Heritage status? Because it is an example, it is an evidence of the urban planning, the traditions of urban planning in China. The location, the layout, the urban pattern, the design of the axis were based on certain principles, based on these principles prescribed in this ancient book called the Book of Diverse Crafts. So it's like, in the case of every ancient city in China has got their own urban planning designs, like Xi'an or Chang'an previously, right? And a lot of time they're based on feng shui, as not in terms of superstition, but as in terms of astronomy. So like, say, for example, Chang'an, it was so well designed that Japan, at that time, during the Tang Dynasty, copied 100% of Chang'an into their capital, that time, Kyoto. So if you go to the old city of Kyoto, the old city is 100% copy of the old city of Xi'an. So this central axis is for you to be able to see the entire structures in its totality. Then this is a park outside Beijing. It's about, again, 60 to 90 minutes. You've got to take a car. It's the Pofengling Park. And I discovered it by chance. We went there and it was unusual. Unusual because it is famous for flowers of a tree called the smoke trees. It only blossomed during a certain month of the year. And you can see, because it's pink color, so you can see over the mountains, across these mountains, these pink flowers, an ocean of pink flowers. You can look at it closely, right? It is, I've never heard of this flower before. It's the first time. And it is located in this particular district of Beijing, and it only blossoms during certain time of the year. For those of you who are not able to walk up, there's, of course, as usual in China, they give you a cable car. But the steps are very well constructed, very gentle, well spaced. I don't think most of you wouldn't have a problem in walking it up. And for those of you who are interested, there are beautiful chalets where you can book and stay overnight in this park, in this mountain resort. And the best part is, it doesn't attract the foreign tourists like, some of the famous scenic spots in Beijing, like the Forbidden City. Like if you go to Pataling, the Great Wall side, the Pataling section of the Great Wall, it can be very crowded. Here, you have the mountains, especially like when I went there in May, the weather was lovely. They have eateries, modern cafes, traditional food, and the atmosphere was lovely because you can see not only the green, but the pink flowers. So these are some of the nearby mountains, very panoramic. And of course, for those of you who are compulsory shopper, there's a cute little gift shop at the park. I think I bought something again because it was fascinating. Now, would you visit a library, right, and spend your entire day in a library? Would you? Most of you, or 99.9% say, what? What kind of suggestion is this? Ask me to go to a library? Well, let's take a look. This is a new library. It's called Beijing City Library. It is a must, it's a compulsory destination. It is in the Tongzhou district. And again, from the outside, the architecture is really beautiful. Again, this was designed, there was a competition. The architect who designed it was from Scandinavia, together with a local Chinese architectural firm. These are some of the outside views. It is the largest air-conditioned library in the world. Not only is it big in terms of the horizontal space, it's multiple stories, and some of them are column-free. You can see the roof like 5-story high. You must go and see yourself. Now, when you go, let me suggest this. Don't go there just as a tourist. Go there as an experience that is extremely unique. Like I said, you never think of going to a library, correct? But, I'm a very open-minded person. I'm a very curious person. So I decided I want to go and experience what it is like. If you can, bring a book or bring a laptop, because Wi-Fi is free and it is efficient. Bring a book, because there's so many wonderful places for you to sit, and if you want to take a nap. The library is very well designed. Now this is, as you enter, you can see it's like, terrace on a mountain, right? So it's like a valley. You have terrace steps on the left, terrace steps on the right, and then in the middle is an open valley. Now, this is not because the terrace, they are empty, not because there are no books there. It is meant for you to sit. It is meant for you to lie down. It is meant for you to chill. And it goes up, as you can see from the photo, it goes up pretty tall, right? Both left side and right side. Then there's another part of the library where the same thing, the same slope, the same terrace will be filled with books. This is the other part where you can just sit down and take a nap if you want to, and just enjoy the atmosphere. And the lights, if you notice at the back, at the certain part of the curvature, there are lights. The lights will change, and the light has got animation. There's animation on that part of the curvature. Same part of the library. This is from a more panoramic view. Now I'm just showing you the parts where there are no books yet. Of course, there are plenty of books. In fact, there are so many books that the library has got 2 sections. One which is open shelf, and another one which is underground, where you can borrow or return it, where you just, you see, the whole thing about this library is there are a lot of very conveniently well-designed tables for you, where you can charge your handphone, where you can have a tablet provided for you free of charge, and you can enter inside there whatever books that you want, and it will be automatically retrieved or automatically returned to the basement area. And this is the part where you can see the terrace, right? There are many kids. I went there on a Sunday. There were many kids there, and they were just roaming around, and this kid just lie down there. I was in the library for about a couple of hours. He was there all the time, lying like that. But despite the fact that there are so many kids roaming around the library was very quiet and very tranquil. I'm not sure how they designed the acoustics, but there was no disturbance at all. And this is one part. The library has got many different parts. It has got one section where you can, for free, where you can, and to enter the library, you don't even have to register anything. I just walk in like that. You don't even have to go and put in your name, your mobile phone, your passport number. No need. You just walk in. Then there's a section where you've got all kinds of, it's a musical section, all kinds of records where you can sit there and have top quality sound system and listen to. Or there's another section where it's a professional quality recording studio where you can do your own recording. And there's another section where you can have traditional art, the modern art. This is another section of the library. And look, this is where the tables are and so on and so forth. The tables are not just for you to sit there and read. There are a lot of sofas and other chairs where you can just, many of them are placed next to the window where you can just sit there, take a nap and chill out and just look at the outside landscape. But the one thing that's fascinating is this. Remember I told you I went there on a Sunday? It's open until 8 o'clock at night. I can safely say, because I walk around many parts of the library, I can safely say that 90% of the people there who were there in the library were actually reading and studying and doing work on a Sunday. Bring a book. If you haven't read a book for a long time, bring a book and enjoy it. Bring your laptop. And I don't know, I guess most people have never really thought of having a fun, exciting, interesting experience inside a library. Oh yeah, there are 2 cafes there. They've got all kinds of different type of sections. They have one, let me just go through and see. I can't remember because there's so many sections. Okay, this one I want to point out to you because it is a section just focusing on intangible cultural heritage at the library. And that thingy on the left hand side, that is like a multiple dimension of the intangible cultural heritage of China. Then there's another section of the library which is devoted for the visitors to experience metaverse. Like I said, this library comes with a very strong recommendation. You must go there. Before I suggest how long you should spend there, let me take you through another part. This is next to the library, very nearby. It is the Performing Arts Center, also brand new. They have all kinds of performances there, right? This is the halls itself. They have opera hall, concert hall, a theater, and so on and so forth. And again, the architecture is beautiful, but please check as to what events are ongoing before you go. The same building. And then you have the library, you have the Performing Arts Center, maybe about 10 minutes walk away from the library is the brand new Grand Canal Museum. This only opened about 2 years ago. It is a museum devoted to China's Grand Canal. For those of you who do not know, the Grand Canal is the longest canal in the world. It was built 1,000 over years ago. It connects Beijing all the way down to Hangzhou in central China. Again, the architecture inside and outside is beautiful, and of course, because it is a Grand Canal Museum, there are a lot of designs which are shaped like boats and a sail and so on and so forth. So the museum has got 5 cultural and creative spaces. One on the canal scenery. There's a bookstore for you to, it's a reading space. Of course, there's a cafe. And then there's a dining board and there's a shop. So between these two main, there are 2 main buildings. Between these two is a water street. It's a water feature. All right, is to it's not just a symbolism, it is where the old canal once flowed in that section. So this is where the beginning of the Grand Canal was located. And on the third floor, you can engage in the three-dimensional system where you can allow you to virtually travel through time and explore the Grand Canal's rich history. Unfortunately for the Beijing portion, you cannot take a Grand Canal cruise. But if you go down to the south, to Hangzhou and all that, you can have a Grand Canal cruise. The Grand Canal, as the name suggests, is grand. So these three, the Grand Canal Museum, the Performing Arts Center, the library, because for you to go from the center of Beijing to the library, it takes you about 50 minutes to 60 minutes. So if you want to see all the three, at least allocate one day. If you're a bit more adventurous, maybe go back the next day or find a hotel nearby to stay there so they can go back again the next day. I went twice in my last trip. So it's located in this district, Tongzhou, which is a tier 3 district, right? Which is not as grand as your Wang Fujing and all those type of top level district. But even in this district, by the roadside, you have machine where you can borrow books. You just have to, it's electronically controlled. You can borrow and return the books by the roadside. And in this district, near the Shichahai Park, which is another one of the many well-maintained parks, well-patronized parks in Beijing, is a primary school. I share this with you because I was completely taken by surprise as to how modern, how beautiful this primary school is. The photo on the left is the main entrance, and the one on the right side are photos of the classrooms. And the whole place is clean, well maintained, modern. This is a primary school in a tier 3 district. I mean, it's no wonder that China is out competing United States of America, because the United States of America spend their time and effort and money bullying every other country, whereas the Chinese government spend their money and their resources on making sure that the fundamentals are correct, children's education. So this is part of the primary school. So I've been to Beijing many times, many times, and I'll be going back again and again because I always discover new fascinating places, new shops, new eateries, and encountering new interesting experiences, which I don't have enough time to share with you. For those of you who don't like hot months, don't go in July, August. It's pretty hot. Beijing in winter, if you're lucky, you get a period where the snow is especially beautiful, where you see snow, the white snow on the roof of the temples and so on. It is undescribable. Beijing in spring brings you ideal weather with cherry blossom and many more flowers blooming. Beijing in autumn with the golden leaves is romantic and melancholic. So my suggestion is, whether you're going there for the first time or going there for your 100th time, allocate 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, at least. Do it at a gradual pace, enjoy every moment of it. And, the airfare from KL to Beijing is actually pretty cheap. It's cheaper than KL to Sydney, KL to London, KL to Tokyo. So, maybe the next time when you're thinking of going somewhere, think of Beijing. And the place there is full of friendly people who can communicate with you easily. And very importantly, very safe. Don't have to worry at all. So I hope you enjoy this video, which is different from my usual. This is a bit more casual, more informal. And if you want me to share with you the places that visitors, normal visitors, don't visit in either Shanghai or Hong Kong, let me know. Because in Hong Kong, I also do a lot of exploration. Same thing in Shanghai as well. And as usual, please share our video, like our video, and subscribe. So I hope over the weekend you start doing your internet searches, finding out all these interesting places, and start booking for your trip in either October will be a good time, right? October, but don't book the national holiday period of October. Go after that, because during the national holiday period, a lot of things are closed. Book for your trip in October and have a wonderful time in Beijing. Let me know what your experiences are. Bye-bye and have a good week ahead.